The Weird World War continues in this conflict, and I would like to welcome you to the first Warlord Workout, how to paint a German commander in under 20 minutes. The purpose of this guide is to show you how easy it is to get a table-ready miniature in under 20 minutes. So let me dive in and say right now what tools we will need for the first part of this workout. We will need some plastic glue, note not super glue for this, some sprue clippers and a sharp craft knife. For those of us of a younger age, do the right thing and ask a responsible adult for help with this. Right, bish bash bosh, we are ready to go. So, firstly look through your conflict book and figure out what our commander is and what weapons he has. Then look at your sprue and using your clippers remove the parts we need. We need a commanding presence, so we need a dude with a hat, because all dudes in command have an awesome hat. We also need a body, 2 arms and a weapon. In the conflict book it also states that the Fallschirmjäger commander has an SMG, so that's the weapon we will be putting on the chap. Right, we have removed all of our parts from the sprue. The next step is to remove the flash from around the pieces using our sharp craft knife. This makes all the parts smooth and fit well together. And bing, we have our constructed figure. Woohoo! Right now we have our figure. We better look at putting some colour on the little guy. Here is a list of what materials I used for this section. We have Citadel Flayed One Flesh for those hard to get skin tones. We have Citadel Seraphim Sepia, which is a brown ink. Citadel Nulian Oil, which is a black ink, used to tone down and fill those dark crevices of the model, just to pick out the fine detail in the hair, clothes and facial detail. A range of brushes. I have a Wargamers character brush from Army Painter. I have the equivalent of a Superfine, just in case, and I have a Citadel Undercoat brush for lamping on some paint. We then move on to the paints that make this specific model. We have Luftwaffe World War II, we have Green Grey, we have German Camouflage and Khaki Grey, all from Vallejo Paints. And then there is the Tamiya Weathering Master, or Makeup Box, depending if my wife is around. Next, we grab our Undercoat paint. I have chosen to use Luftwaffe uniform colour from Vallejo as my undercoat, mainly because some of the model is of that colour anyway, and it will be a good base for the rest of the colours. Secondly, bad me, I forgot to add the black into the paints list. Well, we colour in the black boots and gun and anything else that will be based in black. Next, we grab our German Camouflage dark green, and using our character brush, lightly scratch across the surface of the coat, just bringing the colour in. Looking for no more than 0.5mm by 2mm brush strokes. It doesn't have to be neat or uniform. We are trying to create camouflage at the end of the day. We want to cover perhaps leaving 2/3 of the undercoat visible. Next, we bring in green grey, using the same technique as above but overlapping the dark green in some areas and roughly leaving perhaps 1/3 of the coat of the Luftwaffe colour. If you like, also using the same technique as above, add khaki grey into the mix if you want, just to add a little bit of light colour to the model. I did. Next, we add the skin colour to the hands and face. I tend to water my flesh down, perhaps 1/3 water to paint ratio, just so the flesh paint flows better. I also apply maybe 2 coats of this to get the right colour and consistency. Next, using the khaki colour, highlight any drinks canisters and straps or suspenders or anything that would require a little bit of colour. I also used a little flesh colour to highlight the tops of the water bottle. Right, most of the main colouring is over. We now have the task of inking. We have 2 inks to use, brown and black. Using my undercoat brush, I liberally spread the brown ink over my model, working the ink into the crevices of the face, coat and hands. Crucially, wait for this to dry. And then repeat with the black ink, making sure not to go too heavy around the face. Just guide the ink towards the eyes and mouth. Again, wait for this to dry. This darkens the entire model, but the application of the weathering compacts, snow, rust and black allows for the highlighting of the entire model, which in turn brightens the overall effect, but gives you a wargame ready mini who looks like he's been dragged through hell. As the weathering compact comes with sponge and brush, I find it works well to apply liberally and work into a model where you would like that effect, and then take away the excess with the brush until the precise effect is achieved. Finally, I added Citadel Sterling Mud to the base and maybe some foliage or tracks for extra bonus points. 1 mini ready for combat.